Have you ever felt like you made a choice that took you far away from everything you knew? Far from comfort, from love, from the very essence of who you were? Today, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful stories ever told, one that echoes through centuries and shows us the true face of unconditional love. In a distant land, there lived a father with two sons. The elder, dedicated and hardworking. But it was the younger son. The younger son. He dreamed of more, of something different, something beyond that place. One day, he made a request that broke his father's heart, but which the father, in his wisdom and love, granted. He asked for his inheritance, and he left. He went to a distant land, taking with him not just his fortune, but the hope of a life without limits. He spent everything on ephemeral pleasures, on parties that ended at sunrise, on friendships that lasted only as long as the money did. He thought he was living life. Little did he know he was just getting lost. And then winter came. Not just a winter of cold, but a winter in his soul. Hunger, loneliness, shame. Everything collapsed. He found himself in a place he never imagined. Tending pigs, wishing for the food the animals ate. The one who once had everything now had nothing. The one who dreamed of freedom was now a slave to his own misery. Amidst the despair, a light, a memory. His father's house, and it was there in the deepest abyss of his existence that he made the most important decision of his life. I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. He knew he no longer deserved to be called a son, but he knew he had to go back. But would his father take him back? Would forgiveness exist for someone who had thrown everything away? The journey back was long. Every step, a reminder of what he had left behind. Every landscape, a memory of better days. Doubt haunted him. How would his father react? Would there be anger, disappointment? He deserved all of it. But deep down, a small flame of hope burned. Meanwhile, at home, the father. Day after day, he looked at the horizon. There wasn't a single moment when his heart didn't sigh for his lost son. He didn't know where he was or what he was doing, but he knew he loved him. And hope, for a father, never dies. But what would happen when his eyes finally met the silhouette of his son on the horizon? Would it be a reunion of joy or of pain? And then, one day, it happened. A silhouette. Distant, but familiar. The father, with his vision of love, recognized him from afar. He didn't wait. He didn't hesitate. He ran. He ran to meet the one he thought was lost forever. He didn't care about his dirty clothes, the smell of the pigs, the shame etched on his son's face. He just ran. And there, on the dusty road, it happened. The father threw himself on his son, embracing him. There was no sermon, no reprimand, just love. The son, in his humility, tried to confess his sins, but the father interrupted him. He didn't want to hear words of guilt, but rather to feel the warmth of his son again. That hug said it all. The father ordered, "Bring quickly the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found." A feast. Not a feast of judgment, but of celebration, of redemption. But not everyone shared the same joy. The older brother, the one who had always been faithful, who had always been there, felt anger, injustice. "You never gave me a young goat that I might celebrate with my friends," he said to his father. How would the father respond to this accusation? Would the father's love be enough to calm this storm? The father, with his wisdom, answered the older son, "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found." The father's love was vast enough to embrace everyone, to understand the pain of the one who left and the loyalty of the one who stayed. This is not just an ancient story, it's a parable, a living lesson about forgiveness, about repentance, and above all, about unconditional love. The Father's love. A love that doesn't judge, that doesn't hold grudges, that is always open arms to receive. Perhaps you identify with the prodigal son who got lost, or with the older brother who felt wronged, or perhaps with the unwavering hope of the father. Where do you find yourself today? What does this story tell you about your own choices, about your own relationships? The love of the father in the parable is a representation of a greater, divine love that awaits us, even when we stray. It invites us to return, to ask for forgiveness, to reconcile. No matter how far you've gone or what you've done, there's always a way back. There's always a hug waiting for you. This story reminds us that true love is the beacon that guides us back home. It's there, waiting. And you? Have you allowed yourself to be forgiven? Have you forgiven someone who needed a second chance? What can unconditional love do in your life today?